It's a brand new day. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Jill. You are here on Survival Road, where we talk about who we need to be to build the community we want to live in. As the world gets colder, the population gets older, at least there's more of us. I believe we need to get bolder. So today I'm talking about this idea of being a survival sage in an ice age, not because that's what we all need to be, but because I want to ask you, who will you be in the second half of life, and as our world is changing quite drastically for some of us. So before we do that, we're going to take in a deep breath, hold for 4, exhale, and see you on the other side.
You can see what you're chasing and reaching out to a future life you're sure. Keep on running, might slip on the way. Keep on running, might slip on the way. Keep on running, might slip on the way. Keep on running.
So one of the things that's been happening with these videos is that randomly some of them take off, most of them don't, but it's really interesting. Comments even more so. So it's got me thinking, as this last one about the Ice Age grand solar minimum has taken off for no reason that I can determine other than just some accident. I don't know a lot about the science. I'm not making the videos to talk about the science. I'm making the videos because I'm interested in the science, but I'm only interested in the science because, like you, I want to know what's happening around me. And it really got me thinking about the purpose of YouTube and how so many people like me are excited about things and bringing them forward, that I need to refocus. I'm going to toss it back at you to think about how you can refocus if you're contributing to the world or the community around you. And how when we sort of sort this out, we can become more productive instead of just a lot more noise, which kind of is what a lot of us are doing, myself included. And I do that by breaking it down into 3 categories. And so what I did is I took a step back as I'm listening to a lot of other people talk about the grand solar minimum, a mini ice age. And what I do know a lot about is aging, is that what am I an expert in? What do I have experience in, and what am I interested in? And like so many people, I'm excited about what I'm interested in. I'm kind of bored with what I'm excited or what I have expertise in, and what I have experience in the past isn't as exciting as what the future will hold. So I'm just really rethinking that. The reason I like the moniker Survival Sage is because I know a lot about life and death. Personally, professionally, I've worked in crisis, I've worked with hospice, I've worked with a lot of dying people. And, this experience has really taught me a lot about the physical aspect of survival. And most of us, if you don't know, that real survival is about 90% mental and emotional, and how you manage what's happening around you, not what's actually happening around you. I am an expert in that. I can't always do it, but I understand it. And the experience that I've had that I'm excited about sharing are, living more nomadically, living in the rural world, getting back to a land-based, nature-based lifestyle. That's really this idea of wild, how it's changed so much. And what I'm nervous and excited and interested in is the grand solar minimum. I'm not excited about the population getting older. I just know that's going to be a huge thing. And I also know, like so many of you, that the second half of life, we've kind of dropped out in terms of having value. And so that's the sage part, because we really should be able to bring something to the party in terms of our skill set. By the time you're 50 plus, you should be really good at something. And that's sort of the idea of the sage. We should have a mastery of self by midlife, and we should also have a mastery and an expertise by midlife. As we move the journey within, in terms of a continued mastery of self, and then the journey out is also what we can share, and that's really our knowledge base. I just think there's a lot of changes coming around, and I feel like humanity is at a pivot point. It really doesn't matter what happens, but we are being asked to become something, and who we choose to become in the midst of crisis, of destruction, will determine what kind of world we build next. So as we move forward in our own lives, we can really think about what we're an expert at, what we have experience in, and what we are interested in as a way to kind of keep the excitement going. I just love to learn. So for me, all this new stuff is exciting, and that's why I've been sharing it. But I need to pull back from maybe talking about that part and sticking with what I know. This is going to be a tremendous opportunity. People have survived cold weather all the time. That's not what's scary. What's scary is the ability to be strong enough and still come from a place of love and watch what may be happening around us. Same thing as we get older. We're not going to be able to control what happens regardless of whichever crisis hits, or if no crisis hits, because if it's happening to you, it's a crisis. What I have to bring to the party is these two ideas of mastery of self, and the second piece to that is this community idea of multidisciplinary, multi-generational individuals coming together to have a productive and functional community, and choosing the values and the skills that you want to bring together within that community. I think that's our work, not because there's a perfect system, but who are we going to become in this process as humanity is pivoting and we have to choose. We're going to get more tech, or we're going to go back to the way we were designed, or are we just going to give up and sort of collapse in the process? These are our choices. That's what we're talking about. So before we go, we're going to take one more deep breath for the road here on Survival Road, as I hope you will rise with the sun in your eyes, love in your heart, feet strongly on the ground, because that's important, as we walk together on Survival Road, one day at a time. Live free, die wild, my friend, and I'll see you next time.
Along the way, keep on